It looks like you got one of these guys, a Tesla terrorist, and he's got some lipstick. What's that?
You know, Jesse, this guy is charged with committing the Tesla offense in New Mexico in February, and then the GOP headquarters in March. These people thought they could get away with it. They can't. This is our 5th major arrest on Tesla. I guess they are listening. They better listen. This guy is looking at 40 years in prison. I have directed my prosecutors not to make any offers. He is going away, if convicted, for 40 years. He is the 5th major arrest we've made, and stay tuned for more.
Another day, another projection from the left. As you saw from the intro, you saw that Pam Bondi is arresting people who are out there terrorizing and attacking people for owning Teslas, Republican offices. We'll get more into that in a little bit. Josh Shapiro, he got his house threatened. And the funny part is when Josh Shapiro got attacked, everyone condemned it. You shouldn't be attacking somebody because they do something you don't agree with, these extreme leftists. But here is a segment from CNN, right? Before we go further into this, right? Dear leftists, if you don't like being called out on your double standards regarding political violence, then don't condone political violence. It's as simple as that. And it's always this whataboutism when you point out this inconvenient truth that, yo, you guys, when they give me these statistics about, oh, there's more far right extremism than far left extremism. You know what they categorize as far right? Anything that's not left. Make it make sense. So if they categorize something as not left wing, they consider it a far right violence. Like there's not different shades of flavor on the left. You got from the green activists, from socialists, from Marxists, leftists, like progressives, liberals. But because they're not left, whatever the designation is for left-wing extremists, if it doesn't fit in their criteria, they consider it right-wing. That's how a lot of these data statistics are made up. But, I digress. I want you to check out this segment from CNN talking about violence in America today and how it comes from right-wing extremists. And then I'm going to give some of my examples of why I believe they're spinning a narrow, one-sided view on the issue. Let's take a look.
America was found, make America great again to when they came and massacred the indigenous people, millions and millions of indigenous people.
But by supporting the murder of a healthcare CEO, doesn't that make your side as culpable?
I don't hear them condemning the Proud Boys, who he said stand by, whatever it is. Once they start condemning them, then I will reassess. But until then, no, I'm not reassessing.
Yeah.
About a third of the building has been blown away.
And while America's roots are soaked in bloodshed, violence in the country today is mostly from right-wing extremism. From Oklahoma City to Charlottesville to January 6th. There is simply no equivalent on the left.
Again, if you don't like being called out on your double standards regarding political violence, then don't condone political violence. It's as simple as that, right? So you saw my example one. I gave you a sneak peek. BLM. How many people that BLM killed? How many property damage that they destroyed? How many thievery happened around there? How many property damage happened, especially property damage? Because if you want to compare January 6th to BLM, January 6th got nothing on BLM. More people died in BLM. More property was destroyed in BLM. BLM affected more people's lives to the point where Kyle Rittenhouse had to kill 3 people to protect himself. And there's video of him being assaulted violently by these BLM rioters. But no, there's no left-wing extremism there. Okay. Antifa, for years, since 2016, they've been attacking conservative speakers on colleges' campuses. And the funny part is they get away with murder. There was a clip I saw somewhere where Officer Tatum, right, conservative YouTuber, he went on a college campus and these protesters were attacking, destroying their property, taking their stands away. And the police sit back and did nothing. And something's telling me in the back of my head, like maybe some of the reason why far left extremism isn't as documented is because a lot of these police officers don't seem to take any action against these people. You got violent people attack, like Chaz, for instance. Chaz is another example. Chaz, you know how many deaths, assaults happened while Chaz was going on? It seemed like a lot of people forgot about Chaz. Here's Charlie Kirk, where I got the video from. CNN, violence in America today is mostly from right-wing extremism. There's simply no equivalent on the left. Lie. False framing. Why do they want this framing? I don't know. This is a brazen lie and pure projection. President Trump has survived multiple assassination attempts, with many would-be assassins recently arrested by the FBI. Wow. Oh wait, it's right-wingers attacking President Trump. Okay. Nearly every Trump cabinet official has received credible death threats and doxing. Also, don't forget the attempted kidnapping of Brett Kavanaugh during the Supreme Court justice after they ruled against Roe v. Wade. Luigi Mangione is celebrated as a hero for assassinating United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. Left-wing arsonists are firebombing Tesla facilities across the country. Hundreds of thousands of dollars have flowed into Carmelo Anthony's legal defense fund for murdering 17-year-old Austin Metcalf over a seating dispute. His TPUSA chapter president of University of Texas at Dallas was just slammed in the head with a bike lock by a trans student. Antifa just destroyed another table featuring Brandon Tatum, which is the one I talked about, while assaulting students at UC Davis, and the list goes on. But y'all want to sit here pretending. This is why I laugh, right? There was a Destiny, right? A prominent self-proclaimed liberal who was happy that the guy, I forgot the firefighter's name, that got killed during the attempted assassination of Donald Trump the first time. He laughed. He said, if you're at a Trump rally and you happen to get shot by a would-be assassin, I'll laugh at your grave. And he got a bunch of backlash for it. This is the left. And then they're going to have the gall to sit here and pretend that they got the moral high ground. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. There's no equivalent of it on the left. It seems like CNN has not been paying attention. We have documented. But it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter to their framing. They're here defending the Tesla. Like, imagine that. CNN is so biased, right? And this is why I said left-wing liberal bias is ruining our news outlets. I think this is why no one trusts them. You had CNN on panels saying that this is free speech. To destroy other people's property is free speech. They should be allowed to say their piece against the company. No, they're not. They can't. You can't just go destroy someone's property because you don't like who they support. That is not free speech. Your rights end where another's begin. This is my phone. You may not like the fact that I have an Android, but it doesn't give you a right to come to me, snatch my phone out of my hand, and break it because you don't like the fact that I support Android. You can't do that. And they equated this to some type of protest. And I remember Scott Jennings breaking his brain looking at these people like, this is not a form of protest. This is property damage. This is vandalism. And they try to frame it as protesting. Make it make sense. Now these people are going to jail. They're quiet now. But I digress. I want to play this little Fox segment to get more details on what's been going on with these Tesla terrorists, as now they're being called.
So the feds have charged a man with attacking a Tesla showroom in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and the Republican headquarters in the same city, same person. So here's the suspect. Interesting. Some interesting lipstick there. 40 years old Jamison Wagner is now, we are told, in custody. Senior national correspondent William LaJeunesse looking into who this individual is and reporting on this live from Los Angeles. Hi, William.
Hey, Martha, surveillance video.
And before I continue, now my brain is starting to turn. Didn't a Republican congresswoman get assassinated in New York, if I remember correctly? I haven't heard much about that story. And it's the funny part about these, like the CNN attempt at saying that there's no equivalent on the left, is that they don't highlight these things. The same way they didn't want to highlight Biden's mental decline and how they didn't want to outright call out, ayo, Biden's mentally unfit to be president. They do the same thing with left-wing violence. We talk about the same thing with interracial violence, interracial crimes, right? Black perpetrator commit more crimes on white victims than white perpetrator commit on black victims. If you look at interracial crime, black criminals are the biggest offenders of interracial crime. But the CNN don't put that stuff up. They don't put instances of that going on. They put instances of when it's a white perpetrator attacking a black victim. That's what they highlight. That's what they spread all, because it benefits a narrative. And it goes back to my theory that, media is not an information machine. It's a narrative machine.
And Wagner torching both the Tesla showroom and the GOP headquarters in Albuquerque. And now Wagner, seen here in that black lipstick that you mentioned, is looking at 40.
Yeah, is this a right-wing extremist? I don't know many right-wing extremists that looks like this. Hey, they could be. But it's likely he's a left. I mean, you firebombing GOP offices, and somehow the left will make an attempt to say, oh, no, he was a right-winger. Make it make sense. Denialism.
40 years in prison. Now, FBI Director Kash Patel also credited ATF investigators for linking him to the firebombing at both locations. So at Tesla, they found an intact IED filled with a flammable liquid and graffiti saying "Die Elon, Tesla Nazi Inc." and a swastika on the building and 6 vehicles. Then it was about a month later that cameras picked up the same suspect wearing black clothing and a mask, carrying a white box, where he also firebombed the GOP headquarters and spray painted ICE KKK in perfect lettering on the building.
This was not just an attack on our building. This is an attack on our values, our free speech, and the right of every New Mexican that wants to participate.
Trying to intimidate people. What is new from the left? When they can't make fun of you, when they can't mock you, when they can't shame you, they try to intimidate you. I talked about this before. I think I did when I covered the Tesla stuff going on, that a man confronted a woman because he was driving a Tesla and he didn't like the fact that she was driving a Tesla. Left, you guys keep trying to play this whataboutism. You gonna keep getting mad. Oh, you guys are violent too. Who cares? Look at what you're doing now. You're the biggest threat going on in this country right now. Oh, there's no protests happening. But look at all these one-off efforts, these group of individuals just attacking, just because they're not in a group. Somehow they want to excuse it away. Look at all these violence that happened to the conservatives. I joke around that left-wingers have always loved violent groups. KKK, Democratic Party, right? All the most assassinated. If you look at the politicians, which political party has the most assassinated presidents? It's the Republican Party by far. But left-wing extremists, there's no equivalent on the left. Okay. Who killed Abraham Lincoln? Assassination attempts against Reagan. JFK, that Democrat got one. JFK. And I think someone else as well, if I remember correctly. But the more prominent ones, assassination attempts on Ronald Reagan, Abraham Lincoln. I believe even Teddy Roosevelt got an assassination attempt, an attempt at his life. Donald Trump now is in there. Republican politicians getting killed. But there's no equivalent on the left. Okay.
In the democratic process without fear.
So separate video caught the suspect fleeing the scene in a white Hyundai. Then, when police got a search warrant at his home, they found the Hyundai, a white cardboard box containing 8 homemade firebombs, nearly identical to those they found at Tesla and the GOP. And then get this, they found the black and the red spray paint matching the graffiti used at both crime scenes, and then the stencil that was used to put on the phrase ICE KKK that was found at the GOP headquarters perfectly right in his house. So he is charged with several counts of destruction of property by arson.
They got him.
He carries 5 to 20 year sentence. No word yet, Martha, on whether he will get bail.
Yeah,
Back to you.
not a great cleanup job.
They got him. But they'll find excuses for this. The left. They'll find excuses for this. But I'll leave it off there. I don't got nothing much to say. All right, they want to say we're playing whataboutism, but if you just look at the principle of it, should not be there shouldn't be really no disagreement of it. Hey, political violence shouldn't be condoned anywhere. And the left like to pretend that the conservatives don't police their own side. We do. I can remember numerous times Charlie Kirk says, hey, don't do anything violent, don't do anything. Trump even said, hey, January 6th, go out peacefully. Don't even don't destroy property. And the fact that people didn't listen to Donald Trump and he destroyed, you still want to hold him accountable for that. Make it make sense. He put out a tweet saying, hey guys, return home, return home. I remember Kanan Collins, the town hall with Kanan Collins. He had to bring out the receipts and say, hey, this is the time I said this tweet, and y'all banned me right after that. Y'all deleted my tweet, and then y'all banned my account. Facebook or whoever did that. I think it was Twitter. Twitter did that before Elon Musk owned it. And the media created this narrative, oh, he never said anything, he condoned violence. But you're not reporting it accurately. But I digress. Let me know your thoughts and perspective in the comment section below. I'd like to hear what you guys are thinking. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Please share this video if you feel so inclined. It really does help me out in an algorithm. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.